Hello everyone, welcome to another typewriter review video. We are going to talk about my Brother 800T portable typewriter made in July of 1968. Before I start, I wanted to give you a bit of background on these Brother portable typewriters. Back in the day, Brother introduced the JP categorization system. Now the way this worked was based on the functionality and the design of the Brother typewriter made after 1961. They would fall under a category. And all the ultra portable manual typewriters fell under the JP1 category. Now I don't want to get into too detailed about it because it is a lot of information, but I'll post a link in the description about this. However, just to run it down, the JP1 category had 3 generations. One was made in the early 60s, the other one was made from the late 60s until the mid 1970s, and then the third generation was made from 1975 to 1984 or so. So this one is a second generation JP1 portable typewriter. And some of the features that indicate that is the white keys and the solid paper support here. Now, in general, these Brother portable typewriters have the exact same mechanism, and that worked as a benefit on this machine because I once owned a Brother Charger 11, which I used for parts because it was beat to hell. Because of that, I managed to fix the paper bell, and I managed to replace a few linkages because someone had wedged something in there and had bent some of the linkages on this side. So I fixed that. Unfortunately, the Brother Charger 11 came with black keys, and the one on... I had only a few that I took off that machine, and that didn't turn out to be the one that was missing from here, the question mark and slash key. So the one that's installed on this machine is actually from an Olivetti Linea 88 typewriter that I used to have years ago, which managed to fit, so that's why that key looks a bit out of place. Anyways, let's go into the details of this machine, and I will also include another typing sample. Now, as far as I could tell, the Brother Activator 800T seemed to be the only manual Brother typewriter made with a plastic body. And the reason that could be a bad thing is because plastic degrades over time. And most of the machines that are still around with plastic bodies tend to have discoloration, cracks in the frame, and warped parts. However, this machine does not appear to have suffered that much aging at all. There is a slight sensation of discoloration, and the only reason you can really tell is because, well, it won't pick up on camera, but over here there was sticker residue, and it was really old sticker residue, and when I cleaned it off, you could still see where the sticker used to be. So the plastic around the sticker had slightly changed tint, but underneath it, it remained the exact same color as it did 50 years ago. But it's so minor that it already indicates to me that the color has had very little discoloration over the years. The keys as well, there is no discoloration at all. One of the keys was missing, as you can see. This is the key from an Olivetti Linea 88 typewriter that I had from 1969, and which fitted. And then some other repairs I had to do was the paper bill was bouncing up and down, and the reason for that was the spring and screw on this side were missing. Well, the spring had broken and the screw was missing. And I had some parts from a Brother Charger 11 that I installed. Now the keys on my Brother 11 are black, and I would have rather installed that one on here than this key, but the thing was I didn't have that key anymore because I only saved a few. So that's what I had to use for that. A few other things I had to do was when I was cleaning it, there was no way the screws would come out on the platen because they had seized over time. And Brother used, and let me grab a sample. I might not actually have a screw sample, but Brother used particular screws which used these screwdrivers. Now let me see if I can focus in on this. So not a Phillips head, I think it's an octagonal. Downside of that, of course, is that finding the right size, first of all, to unscrew that is a challenge enough because for some reason they are odd sizes, and they're very hard to undo. Now I stripped all of the screws within 5 minutes and I decided to drill them out. And then I went to the hardware store and I bought some brand new screws that I installed. The only difference is they're a different color, but that really doesn't matter. Besides that, there wasn't really anything else besides cleaning to do because this machine was filthy as can be. But it came out really nicely. I used denatured alcohol and some sewing machine oil, things like that, in order to clean it, and it really came out a treat. As you can see, it is super clean. Now the machine uses the standard twin size universal fit spool ribbon, which being an ultra portable typewriter is a little bit, well, it's relatively common. These machines have a tendency to have their own size spools, which are relatively smaller and difficult to come by. Luckily this machine does not have that. Now some of the functions that this typewriter has is it has a color selector here, a touch control here, dual shift keys but only one shift lock key over here. You have your margin release, which double functions as a key de-jammer. You have your backspace here. Now this machine does have a tabulator, but it does not have the tab set and clear function. Those are set in the factory by a bar that will move the carriage over 5 spaces every time you hit the tab. Or 10 spaces I think on this one. So, and that's done by a bar that's on the back behind this back plate here. And then you have your margins over here, your carriage return lever over here, and it also has a switch here which will allow you to space once, a time and a half or 2 times, and if you flick it all the way back, this will disengage the platen from the ratchet system and allows you to spin it freely. However, when it's set in that function, the platen will not turn when you push the carriage return lever. So that's how that works. Oh, and we have a paper support here, as you can see. And that's how that works. So yeah, in general, these are great little machines to come by. Again, in the typewriter world, these are not seen as very good machines, but I would have to disagree because I've had a few of these and I do really like using them. So if you see one of these for a good price, it's definitely worth snapping them up because they generally clean up very nicely and they type wonderful. So yeah. Anyways, it's now time for a typing sample video, so stick around. Now, despite the fact that these machines feel or look and sound very clunky, they feel actually very nice to use. So that's a big benefit when you use one of these. But there's no sound insulation on these machines, so you know from a distance when someone's typing on one of these. Anyways, let's get into it. I've installed a brand new black only ribbon. Okay, let's go. Thanks for watching.